1/3 of Aussies struggle with their finances. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because I want to have a look at this article about cost of living, and 1 in 3 Aussies, are unable to stay on top of their finances, or I'd say struggling with it. Now, in the past, I've talked about how financial literacy is obviously a problem in this country and how we need to educate more, bring it into schools. But now the more I've discussed this really with my wife, and we've looked at just the education curriculum, there's way too much in there already. A neighbour's kid had homework on the weekend, like in grade 1. Now, I remember back when I was a little kid in grade 1, I would run home to play Nintendo or to play games with my friends, or we'd be like nailing rubber band or pieces of timber together and rubber bands to make planes and army and build things. To be a kid, not doing homework, and that's just on a weeknight, let alone the weekend. So there's too much in the curriculum here in Australia. We can't just keep adding it to it. And I think it comes down to adults and those of us who are a bit older to kind of steer young people in the right direction or where to get information. And for one thing now, we've got access to so much you can learn online. You can really sort your financial literacy out really easily all by yourself. You don't need to pay anyone. You don't need to do any stupid course. You can just learn it all for free, which is fantastic. But often you need to go through some shit times first before that happens. Like the Dave Ramsey moment saying, "Never again. I'm going to get this sorted." And I think for some people, that's what we're going to see as cost of living creeps up, as interest rates go up, as all of a sudden for the first time they're finding their money isn't stretching as far as they used to. They may actually have to pay attention to where their money's going. And then hopefully, perhaps naively on my part believing this, they'll get their shit together. I mean, what do you reckon? Let me know in the comments if you think I'm being too optimistic here, because I'm known for that on the channel. So let's have a look here. Cost of living crisis. 1 in 3 Aussies unable to stay on top of their finances. Now, were they unable to before we had inflation? Because I bet a lot were. We saw how popular bloody Zip was, and Afterpay, and even credit cards, all this stuff. People are just pissing away money. So new ANZ research has found 1 in 3 Australians are struggling to stay on top of finances as a result of the ongoing cost of living crisis. As most Australians continue to grapple with the rising costs of everyday items, the research indicated that many had already started to take action by cutting down on non-essentials, putting more towards savings, or asking for a pay rise. Well, that is keeping on top of your finances. That's getting your shit together. That's a good thing. That is a good thing. How are they painting this as a negative? Well, they have to, because it's the media, isn't it? The findings paint a bleak picture for Australians and their money management. Well, no. They're cutting costs, they're getting rid of non-essentials, and they're pushing for more money. Those are good things. Am I seeing this wrong? You tell me. Only 26% say they feel in control of their finances, and 32% citing their inability to stick to their budget. Yeah, budgets are shit. Budgets are terrible. What's the naked foot guy, barefoot investor? I like his bucket method, where you just pre-program it all and work to that. There's even money allowed there for you to splurge. That seems like a fantastic idea. If you haven't done it, I recommend you read his book. I just read it recently. It's really good. I wish I had discovered it years ago. It probably didn't exist years ago, but still. I mean, we do it. It's a bit different for us because we're running a business. We kind of project out a year. We've got to project out our expenses out, estimate them to a year, and then Rachel does like a monthly review of where we're going. And we'll know, okay, we've hit our target, or we've beaten our target, or we've spent a bit too much money there, and you kind of get a feel for that. Worst case, we've done complete spending freezes in the past, just not spend a cent. At the moment, I've discovered Amazon Prime, and I'm justifying using it because it's cheaper than petrol. So I got the new lights, and yeah, it's way too easy. I mean, stuff like that you need to ditch if you get in trouble, because anything that makes it easy to spend, you just cut out of your life. While 1/3 of Aussies were finding it hard to stay on top of their finances, a further 1.5 million people said they didn't feel in control of their money at all, which was why 7 in 10 people were curbing their spending. The research was based on a survey of 1,064 Australians aged 18 to 60 and was conducted by YouGov on behalf of ANZ in July. YouGov as in, what is YouGov? YouGov, what is YouGov? A British international internet-based market research company. Why are they called YouGov? Okay. Gen Z and Gen Y investing in the future. Interestingly, younger generations such as Gen Z and millennials were more likely than their older counterparts to be saving towards a house. Well, because they have to. The older ones should have a house already. Boomers have houses, guys. Millennials are 40. Okay, I'm a geriatric millennial. I'm right on the border. Okay? A lot of millennials should have houses and kids by now. Should be married and settle down. It's not like a 20-year-old anymore. We're old and crusty. However, younger Australians were also more likely to say they found it hard to stick to a budget and were not sure where to start in order to achieve their savings goals. Don't do a budget. A budget isn't the way to do. Track your money and then change your habits. When it comes to where most Australians are overspending, eating out and takeaway, yep. Yeah, well, 53%, yeah. I mean, eating out is a huge expense. It's a big waste of money. Online shopping, streaming services, and socializing. So let's look at the key findings. 85% of Australians have saving goals for the next 12 months. 2/3 believe something is holding them back from achieving these goals. Okay. 19%, 2.4 million, are struggling to keep track of their spending. 1.8 million say they're not sure where to start in order to achieve their savings goals. That's, well, I mean, where would you start? Could you point people to Dave Ramsey? I mean, he's got a good method for people just getting their debt under control. I haven't actually read any of his strategies, as in, the whole, what's that thing he has? The baby steps. He's got his baby steps method, and they're good to follow. I like the debt snowball technique for paying off debt and getting the psychological payback for that. But I guess that's different to savings. I guess pay off your debt and just start saving little amounts. The most common saving goals for Aussies is a holiday, followed by a house, a rainy day fund, and a car. Okay, this is shit. Holiday should not be the savings goal. A rainy day fund should be right at number 1. And then a house. Okay, oh boy. Men are more likely than women to be saving towards a car and retirement. Yeah, well, that's just the difference in the genders there. On average, Australian workers aged 18 to 60 put a quarter of their monthly income towards their savings. So guys, there we go. 1 in 3 Aussies are unable to stay on top of their finances. Let's have a talk about this. I mean, if you're in trouble with your money, you don't feel like you have control over it, you need to sit down and just go up through to the last month of spending and find out where every dollar went. Life can get really busy. Sometimes you don't have time to just get your shit under control. Everything's going so hectic. You need to take a step back and just go through everything. I remember when I did that, and I discovered all these little bits of money were trickling out for different things just over time. We had one expense here, one subscription here, another one there, and then you add it all up and you go, wow, that's a lot of money going. I'm paying the equivalent of my mortgage and all of these other little expenses. You've got to get a handle of it, guys, and you need to have control of it. What would you suggest to people? I think the Barefoot Investor, Dave Ramsey, I think they've got some good approaches. They're very similar. Let me know in the comments any other ones you'd recommend people take a look at. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I discuss here, there are a few ways you can help out. You can financially support us on YouTube or Patreon, but not if you're unable to be on top of your finances. That's number one. Okay, cut out everybody, YouTuber or Twitch person or OnlyFans subscription, any of that stuff you have. Cut rid of all that shit. Okay, that's a luxury. It's a luxury. You can use referral links from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Buy our pocket squares, which is also a luxury, or call us if you need an architect. Take care, guys. Have a great day, and let me know your suggestions. Who else? There's some funny cartoons about the barefoot investor on YouTube. Look them up. They're pretty bloody funny. And he got rid of CommBank out of the schools. They mustn't like him.